Hello and good afternoon. I am Mr. Chaos the Cunning Wolf, and today I will be reacting to MLP Season 7, Episode 4, Rock Solid Friendship. I really don't know what's really going to happen in this episode. I don't really have any theories or any thoughts. I just know that Maud is going to be in this episode because I've seen a couple of thumbnails from the promos for it, so... Maud episode? I mean, this should be interesting. I mean, we all know Maud. Yeah, I literally have nothing. I have no idea what's going to happen in this episode. I'm going into it completely blind. So without further ado, let's get started.
So, Maud, excuse me, Dr. Hyde.
I like how Marble is more kind of nervous and the other one is kind of annoyed.
I'm Maud.
Don't you hate it when a microphone does that feedback? Okay, Piggy is honestly being pretty annoying. Imagine if that was on ear rape.
I'm not definitely moving to Ponyville.
Of course you are, silly. You said there's nothing left to show.
Okay, I really don't have a parody name because, I mean, Mod Pie or Pinky Mod or,
That's why I'm giving Ponyville a chance.
So all I have to do is prove Ponyville has better rocks than Gaspy Gorge. Challenge accepted. We'll drop your stuff off at my place and then hold on.
I think I'm beginning to see where this episode is going here.
Now let's get moving, 'cause I'm about to show you something.
Where did you get that one?
Alright.
I like how she's not even beginning to walk herself, she's just going along with it.
A lot of structures are made from rocks, Pinky. They're a very stable building material.
Yeah, just like all the houses in Ponyville. Yeah, all the houses in Ponyville are mostly made of stone and, you know, they have straw roofs. Oh, no. Oh, that face, I mean, that face is cute, but it looks so painful. That's a turtle. Or...
That's a tortoise.
Oh yeah, I was about to say it was a turtle, but I mean, Fluttershy said it was a tortoise, so yeah. Did she just say curse you, tank, or something? So, Pinkie Pie's been a party balloon this whole time?
You look really familiar. Have we met before?
Yes.
I knew it! What? Don't tell me.
Pinkie?
I traveled Equestria for my rock work dissertation.
Oh!
Do you know a lot about rocks?
Yes.
Have you ever come across some kind of super powerful stone that can store the cutie mark magic of the, I don't know, entire village?
Yep. In a big cave.
I like this connection! This is really cool! Again, more flashbacks, more context. Thank you for bringing up her dark past again.
It's not like she...
Why does every pony have to do that? I'm liking this episode so far. Why is she always in that position, like grabbing her legs while lying down? I don't think I've ever seen her in that position before in any other episode. Pinky is doing exactly what Twilight did back in the episode No Second Prances. Pinky is doing what Twilight did. She's stalking Starlight with another friend. That face.
Starlight, you're here too? Whoa!
that costume? Ah, Derpy. Oh. I think I see what's going on in this episode. Pinky is just trying too hard to keep her sister close to her, which is understandable, but yeah.
Oh, I know. But she always calms down. Eventually.
yeah, eventually.
Another reason I like rocks. They don't exclude you if you're different than other ponies.
They're beautiful and strong, but...
Mod has a lot of good and interesting perspectives on things.
I think I'm starting to like rocks too.
There's that smile.
Ever seen anything like this?
This is the first time we've seen this place before.
For me.
Pinky, come on. We've had enough Pinky breaks already. I mean, I know this is kind of about her, but still. what was that? What in the name of Celestia was that? Pinky, stop interrupting them. They're doing just fine. Don't wreck your own plan.
Get us out of here, boy.
Okay, Mod is awesome. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, Starlight. They're not cows. They're not cows. Go away, Pinky. Take those off. You're not cows. There's that smile again. And yeah, oops, we're getting those obnoxious bells out of our hair.
Ghastly Gorge has such great rocks. I won't even have time for friends. It's better this way. Sorry it didn't work out.
But are you gonna take Starlight with you, though?
Why couldn't you two just be friends?
Because you kept interrupting.
Come on. Do? Yeah. She's weird. No, in a good way.
Yeah, that's what she meant.
In a totally different
Calm
way
down,
than
Pinky.
any
Mod, use your awesome melee moves to get away from the dragon. I mean, you're able to throw like a big boulder across the field in season 4. So why can't you outrun a dragon? That works. Quick, get away from it. Get away from it. They're all saturated now. Okay, now they're recolored.
Give Ponyville another chance. But more importantly, give me another chance to leave you alone.
What do you think, Boulder?
This episode, and the character development for Pinky.
Now I'm really leaving.
What else?
Wrong way.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. She was walking in towards it. Wow, that episode, I just absolutely loved it. I think what Pinky learned in this episode is, don't be a friendship cockblock. And that was MLP Season 7, Episode 4, Rock Solid Friendship. And I absolutely loved this episode. I absolutely loved it. Just the lesson. I really like the lesson. Like, Pinky is obviously doesn't want her sister Maud to go to Gasling Gorge because she wants Maud to, move to Ponyville so they can be close. So, honestly, even though it seemed like Pinky was annoying at times in this episode, it felt like it wasn't really annoying in a way that it made the episode bad. It felt annoying because it was part of the episode. Like, Pinky was, coming off as annoying because she was always interrupting and everything. It's because she was just trying way too hard to get Maud to stay. And this episode really shows that if we try too hard at something, we might end up messing it up that way as well. Like, sometimes we may end up messing up things when we don't try hard enough, but when we try too hard, we can even mess up that way as well. It has to be perfectly balanced. We have to try, but we shouldn't force things. We shouldn't overwork things, if you know what I'm talking about. So, I like how this episode really showed that in a very good way. And, you know, honestly, Pinky's, like, crying moments and all of her emotional moments kind of made me a little emotional as well. Not up to a point where tears come out of my eyes like a lot of moments from Season 5. But, I mean, it touched me. I mean, I could see her pain. Like, she just wanted her sister close to her. And the fact that she couldn't, for a moment it seemed like she couldn't have that. It really broke her heart, especially when the train left before she managed to catch it. So yeah, those really touched me. And that moment where Pinky tries to convince Maud that Tank is a rock. Obviously, Maud is smart, so she's like, Pinky, that's not a rock, that's a tortoise. And then Pinky's like, whose side are you on, Tank? I really like that part because I could see her struggle, and also it was funny, like, because Pinky is, like, mad and everything, and she's like, whose side are you on? Are you gonna sell me out, Tank? Yeah, I like that part. And, when I was rewatching the episode, I saw a line where Rarity said, oh, this gem will really make my dress stand out when I go to Countess Coloratura's new album release party. Is that just a reference? Or is that meant to be a future episode? Just imagine. If that... I can't help but think, is that like a hint for a future episode? Like, is there going to be another episode with Countess Coloratura in it? And if there is there going to be any more new songs by Lena Hall? I mean, it's probably not going to happen. I'm pretty sure this line was just a small reference, but still, it makes you think. Could that be another episode? Because that mention from Rarity really caught me on when I heard the name Countess Coloratura. But enough of that. It's just my thought. And, yeah, I just absolutely love this episode. I especially like I like the flashback part. I like how Maud reminds everybody how she met Starlight. And who would have knew? I mean, it's back in the times where Starlight was just building her cult village and everything, and all the houses were just being constructed, and people were just beginning to be recruited. And Starlight was just looking for some resources at the time. And so she asked Maud, hey, you know a lot about rocks, right? And Maud's like, yeah. And then Starlight's like, well, I need to know where a cave is where I can store the cutie mark magic of everybody in. And of course Maud points her in the right direction. She doesn't even say thank you. But, I mean, we know the old Starlight. She wasn't very nice. But, yeah, I like that flashback. I like how, so far in the season, we've gotten some good flashbacks so far. Like, we've got a good flashback from Celestia and Celestial Advice. That's what I mostly liked about that episode, other than some of the boring parts. But I like this flashback. I like how we get more context like this. I like how we get to see that all along certain characters have met back in time. Or, you know, something different played out. I really like so far how this season is kind of doing that. It's very unique. So yeah, I absolutely love that part. Like, we got to see more context, we got a nice flashback. And, I mean, it made sense. I mean, Starlight was looking for a cave. Maud knows rocks. So, she pointed her in the right direction. Just, I absolutely love this episode. I like the storyline, I like the Mora, I like the lesson. I mean, obviously the lesson is, well, other than my initial joke in the beginning of this review, you know, friendship, cock block, and everything. What I meant by that, like, that was nothing sexual, that was like a joke. What I meant by friendship cock block is Pinky shouldn't have, you know, intervened so much in the developing relationship between Starlight and Maud. Like, she should have just gave them some space to become friends, not just constantly interrupt them with, like, a photo shoot or everything, advice, and dressing up in a pizza costume and everything. And like I said during the reaction, Pinky stalking Maud with Starlight is kind of similar to how Starlight was stalking Starlight with Trixie back in the episode No Second Prances. But now another thing similar is, well, I don't know if it's similar, but Twilight also, you know, was like and she's like giving her advice and everything and all that. But she didn't really do it as excessively as Pinky did, because, you know, Pinky's the more hyper one, and she was just trying too hard. But Twilight, she was just nervous. She was just nervous for Starlight. And knowing what kind of dark past Twilight had with Trixie, Twilight didn't really like Trixie so much, and that's why she was so, you know, nervous about Starlight being friends with her. So that was one thing in this episode I found that was pretty similar to that episode. And one thing that's also similar about this episode, I actually really loved the episode No Second Prances because it was relatable to me at the time, but I'll explain later. But it also, because it just had a good lesson, it had a relatable lesson. I really like MLP episodes that have relatable lessons, like, and one interesting thing, the way I like MLP episodes is I like the certain episodes that are just meant to be a full-on emotional adventure. You know, good songs, good animations, unique storylines. Like the Canterlot Wedding. I mean, that was an adventure, you know, two-parter, but it was very uniquely written and the songs were very good. But then every now and then, I like the certain episodes that are just subtle. You know, they're just set in Ponyville, like there's no big adventure, it's just subtle. You know, it's just like a kind of home episode. And it just has a subtle, relatable lesson. And I do like an episode like that every now and then. That's why I really like it. I actually really liked the structure of, you know, Maud becoming friends with, who else? Starlight. Because, you know, even though Starlight's made many friends, there's still a couple more friends to make. And really, what could she have done with any of the other main six? I mean, with Applejack, I mean, she's into farming, and Starlight obviously isn't into that. With Rarity, I don't know. Fluttershy, I mean, I don't know either. With Twilight, I mean, there's no need for that. I mean, she's already... Actually, now that I think of it, the main six are already Starlight's friends, so makes sense. But, you know, this is the first time after a long time being apart that, you know, Maud has re-met Starlight after all that time from, you know, back in the cult. So, yeah, I really like that storyline. I like that layout. You know, Starlight really did seem like a suitable character for Pinky to try to get Maud to be friends with. So I like that they went in that direction with that episode. I also really love the character development for Pinky in this episode. I feel like this is really a lesson she really needed to learn. Like, again, it goes back to the emotions part. Like, it was hard for Pinky to learn this lesson. You know, there was moments in this episode where she was, like, crying in despair, and, you know, when Maud got on the train to leave and she just missed her. You know, I just couldn't help but think, this episode is also really good character development for Pinky. This is another lesson that shows Pinky to be a little more mature, and not so in your face. She learned that it's good to help people be happy and to, you know, help people, you know, stay and everything, but sometimes she just needs to back off. Sometimes she just needs to give people space. And for a pony like Pinky, that's hard to do, because she always wants to cheer people up and, you know, talk and touch a party-like voice and make everybody happy. But she kind of learned that trying to make people happy too much is kind of the same as making them unhappy. So, I like the character development for Pinky in this episode. It was just very compelling to watch, and I just really liked it. I also really liked the part, like, it was funny. I really liked the part where, Maud, after they finally get away from Pinky in one scene, Maud's like, sorry about my sister, she can be really hyper and everything. And Starlight's like, oh, don't worry, I know her. She'll calm down. Eventually. Yeah, that's Pinky for you. But, is that really all I have to say about this episode? Seriously? I mean, I absolutely love this episode. I love, actually, everything about it. Like, no part really felt boring. And, again, going back to Pinky being annoying, like I said, it really didn't feel like Pinky was annoying in terms of just ruining the episode, in terms of, you know, us reviewers giving a rating-wise. She was annoying because, you know, that was just the storyline of the episode. Of course she's being annoying because she's trying too hard to get Maud to stay in Ponyville. So, I like that. I like how, you know, at first it seems like she's being annoying just to annoy us, but no, it's just her really trying. yeah, I think that's really all I have to say about this episode. I like the references. I really like Rarity's reference to Countess Colotra. I wonder if that will be a future episode. Just, I'll cross my fingers now, because that could be a hint. But yeah, I absolutely like this episode, and I think this might actually be the first episode in Season 7 that I give a 10 out of 10. That's how much I liked it. It was relatable, it was it was funny, other than, Pinky being annoying for, well, I don't mean that in a bad way, like I just said, but yeah, Pinky was funny, at times when, it was a new joke and everything, and not just the same old hyper Pinky, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I give this episode a 10 out of 10. I absolutely liked it. Weird how I'm giving an episode 10 out of 10 if it doesn't have a song in it. Because that's usually a big bonus. That's usually what gives an episode a lot of charm. And this might just be a rarity. A rarity. I mean like the word rarity, rare. Enough with the mediocre jokes. So, alright, so that was my reaction to and review on MLP Season 7, Episode 4, Rock Solid Friendship. And, I really like that title, because, it has something to do with rocks. So, anyway, so thank you for joining me this afternoon. If you enjoyed the content on my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, only if you actually enjoy the content. Never just because I asked you to. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video that I do. Bro hoof, and have a good day, everyone.